these questions around what's happening in Western Kenya, that Western Kenya somehow is sort of flipping all the, there's Kenya Kwanza claims they have, Western Kenya. Mudavadi has the job of delivering 70% for 30% of government. Traditionally, Raila Odinga hopes Western Kenya also, swings his way, at least 70% as it done over the last 2 elections or 3 elections, if you may. Talk to me around that.
So the electoral map is changing. When we started these discussions, when former Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi decided to join the Ruto coalition, the discussion around that time was that he would deliver 70%. I think about a week ago, I think on the weekend, the Deputy President said, not good enough. We cannot win the presidency. Now you have to put 90% on the table.
Right.
The number has changed. The assumptions around the electoral map that were constructed in enabling the Kenya Kwanza coalition to gain momentum was a presumption that they would get 90% of central Kenya.
Right.
Now that is now slipping.
It's not happening.
Kalonzo was doing his usual stuff, and they thought they would get a huge sliver of Eastern Kenya. So the Ruto arithmetic has really changed in the last 3 months in ways that now start to worry the minders of that coalition. And now upping the stakes for Mudavadi. Now, the conversation with Sonko is also hoping that the slice that he was going to get out of Mombasa and in Nairobi, if you put that together, they're probably hoping that that could give them about 500,000 votes. So they're now in a very desperate situation. So, but having said that, I think and this balkanization, this deal making, this is still the problem.
It all goes back there.
It goes back to the deal making. That Musalia Mudavadi, a really smart guy, would sit across the table with William Ruto and say, let's make a deal. I will put 70% on the table. Right. And Ruto now comes back and says it's not good enough. Now, what do we expect if Ruto wins government and Musalia did not deliver the 70%? The deal is off, isn't it?
Right.
Yes. Sonko now comes with his 1 cabinet secretary and 3 CSS and 3 or 4 ambassadors. And you're basically wondering what is the constituency that is really tangible, that is going to bring to the table. So this deal making is, when you talk about the state of the poll, it is the state of the deal. So we're basically asking that. It's the state of the deal. And even Raila is not innocent in this. His coalition is cobbled out of these deals. A deal with Eastern Kenya, a deal with Central, with Uhuru, and a deal with the Coast people. And a deal with Western Kenya that is being led by Oparanya. So again, this balkanization around this political bankruptcy is a real millstone on our necks, and it is going to stymie the progress of the country.
Do you agree that then Western Kenya and Eastern Kenya are sort of like the big pillars in this election, partly because they have, huge numbers, important numbers,
yes,
but this race is not really for them. Yeah. So these 2 constituencies then have such a big stay in this, and however they shift, if they do a 70–80% swing on one side, then that's probably it.
Well, I don't know what deals these guys have, but honestly, in my opinion, they're very sketchy deals. Whatever he has, Musalia, my friend, I'm sorry to tell you, it's a very sketchy deal. Kalonzo is a very sketchy deal. I think at some points in this country, we need to get politicians who lead with their heart, with their conviction. Why is Musalia in Kenya Kwanza? What is he sold onto by Deputy President William Ruto in the way that he is framing his aspirations and his leadership models? What is it that is appealing to Kalonzo to work with Raila? It has to start from your core, what you believe in, not what's in it there for you materially and for your quote-unquote people. So this is the problem. This is the real problem. So these are important constituencies, but I'm sorry to say to the Luhya nation and to the Eastern Kenya nation, the Kamba nation, that this is a very sketchy deal. You need to be sold on these things on the basis of what it is in there for the people of those societies. And again, that's also a very dangerous proposition. We are all Kenyans. There has to be something in for all of us in this government.
Yes.
Right.
So these guys need to bring the country together, not to balkanize, dice and slice our country around political sketchy deals with their political head honchos.
And I think that's what we've seen, Prof. Yeah. And even when you look at as well as Mount Kenya region, again, a region that everybody is watching out for on what way it is going to vote.
Yeah, I agree again with Alex on this matter. And I think, sad, but I think that we have some movements. The assumption is that the Kenyan vote strictly on the basis of a tribe. That's number one. Number two, that the Kenyan voter is owned. So if you're in a particular region, then you belong to a particular tribe, then you are either owned by Kalonzo Musyoka or Ruto or Raila and so on and so forth.
So we've not moved from the ethnic-based kind of politics to issue-based.
And there's a point I wanted to make, that actually there's some interesting politicians to watch in this election and their impact on the election overall. Right. They are totally unrelated. One is Martha Wangari Karua. And I've always argued that Martha would not deliver the Kikuyu vote. Martha would deliver a complex national vote that people are not, you can't balkanize it. You cannot say this is the Martha constituents and this is the area they stay in. And that is people who actually believe in good governance, in accountability and so on. And they're spread all over Kenya. The other one is Mike Mbuvi Sonko. Unfortunately, he's been flip-flopping. Yeah, because Sonko was able to send this message that it's actually possible to have a politician whose support base is not necessarily ethnic, is not strictly ethnic. Of course, he can't rally it, unfortunately, because again, he's been able to mobilize on the basis of geography. The other one is a French candidate, Wajakoya, that again is appealing to a very interesting constituency. It's a protest vote. Exactly. So you have the protest vote outside there. You've got some little of the youth votes and stuff. And I think just like, unfortunately, these two coalitions have not focused on this non-territorial, non-geographic vote. I was lucky to be part of the Obama campaign in 2012 and in 2008, and I was based in DC. I liken these guys with the Obama invisible voters. All the polls were showing Obama to be trailing Mitt Romney in that particular election. And of course, Obama, what people don't realize is that Obama actually won the second term with a bigger margin. And it was these guys whom the opinion polls never pick. It was young kids who just turned 18 till 20. Nobody even knows they exist. Nobody reaches out to them and so on. So my point is that I hope for a time when we can actually have this slightly more complex voter base as opposed to this totally backward, ethnic, balkanized thing with, in fact, I like that they call them kingpins, because every time they mention them, I think of a human being with a head the size of a pin, where a brain can fit. Those are kingpins.